Okay, so this is Civil 3D 2018 version, and of course I've got this set up to my preference at home. So you're seeing my screen from home. Now you can see the home ribbon. Now you can see move, copy, stretch, rotate, mirror, mirror, scale. You can see all these. In the classroom, that sharp doesn't show these. I have to kind of hover over them to tell what they are. So at home I can see them fine. Now I had somebody tell me that they didn't get symbols when they downloaded their versions, and then they had limited labeling. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways how we can solve that. So this is what I see. Now if you notice, I've turned that tool space off. So this is what we have on at school. I just turn it off to give me more room to work in my drawing. Right now I'm on, if you don't have a scale, we can set a scale. So if I want to make a new scale, I can make a new scale and set it. So I can say custom, and I can say add, and I'm going to say 1 inch, and I'm going to do a 50-foot one. So it'd be 1 to 50. So just in case you didn't get any with the drawing you're working with, we can add them. So it should be 1 foot is, when we do it to scale, 1 to 50. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to show you where under the insert, mine looks different. I have insert and more options. So I have a lot of symbols that I can choose from. If you don't, I'm going to give you a few of the standard ones for right now. So what I've got right here is I've got a new drawing. So this Winwood doesn't have any. So I'm just making up a drawing just so if at home you have something different, I'll show you how we can work around it. So I'm going to set my scale to that 1 inch. Oh, I didn't set one. I'm going to do a custom scale on this one. And I'm going to add. And I'm using just the inches on the keyboard beside the enter. Equals 50 feet. And then this would be 50. So just depending on what the scale, I just want to make something a little different. I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to set that current. Alright, so I'm going to show you where you can get to some symbols that I put in the Blackboard class. So right now I'm going to go to Blackboard, and under symbols, this is under our class, and under optional resources I put 4 symbols in here. So I'm going to go to open, and I'm going to say show in folder, because what I want to do, and I've downloaded a couple times, I'm going to right click and say extract all, and I'm going to browse, and I'm going to put this like on my desktop. So I'm going to make me a folder, a new folder, and say symbols, and save and extract. So now when I look, I've got a water meter, a north arrow, an iron pin, and a fire hydrant. So I think that would be all that you would need just for the site plan. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my drawing, and I want to bring them in. So the good thing, so the 2018 version had the insert ribbon, insert, and I could say more options, and then I could get to where the symbols are. It changed a couple of years ago. So I'm going to type DD, D&D, insert, and I'm going to go to my folder, and I put them in the symbol folder, and I'm going to first add the iron pin in. I'm going to leave all of this the way it is, and it's saying redefine because I've got it in here. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to type 50 to put it on a 50 scale. So now I got a symbol. Now on my O snaps down here at the bottom, I have center and endpoint on. That's the only two O snaps I have on right now. So I'm going to bring in all four symbols really quick and set them to the side. So I'm going to go back to DD Insert and Browse, and I'm going to bring the fire hydrant in. I'm going to do 50. And since I was just in that last command, to make it quicker for me, I'm not going to type DD Insert. I'm just going to hit Enter. And it brings right back up the same command I was in. So I'm going to go to north arrow, and I'm going to put a north arrow in. Now, and it's asked, yours is not going to be say redefined. I already have it in mine because I had added it in a minute ago before I started recording. And this one didn't come in as big as I want. I'm just going to say 50. And it comes in small because I'm going to scale that up, but I'm going to get back to that in a minute. So I'm going to hit Enter again, and I'm going to bring the water meter in. I'm going to do 50. So if we're working in a 1 to 40, you would say 1 to 40. If we're working in 1 to 50, you would say 50. If we were working 1 to 30, you would say 30. So I changed mine to 50 just for this one, but I think the one we were doing in class is a 1 to 30. I'm going to scale this up. So I'm going to go to the Home tab. I'm going to hit Scale. And then I'm just going to drag it, not that big. Maybe that. And then if I want to go up maybe a tiny bit more, I'll do, when it asks for, I'll type in like 1.2. If I want to go up a factor of something. If I wanted to make this smaller, I can also hit Scale. And if I want it half that size, I could do 0.5, and that would make it half that size. But I'm going to hit Scale again. So I'm just going to hit Enter. I was in that same object. And I'm going to say 1.5. Alright. Now, I need to change this. So I have to, this one I am going to explode it. So I'm going to X for explode, but if not, X is right, it's right here. One time. It's not going to mess with anything, so everything's still together. So I'm going to double click. And now I can change magnetic to say Plat Book. I think we are doing 129 page. I don't know if it was 116 or 16, so don't quote me on that. Just look on the plat. I want to say it's just like 16. But just look on the plat and put that information in. Now it's got it in. Alright, so I've got some symbols, so I can actually copy. And I can put that symbol on all four corners. Now the other thing, under the annotate, when the students mentioned when they went to line and curve labels, add line and curve labels, they only had standard. So I'm just going to hit Add, because I want to see what, so boy, I've got some big numbers here. So I hit standard, and I'm going to say edit, and I'm going to go to, so I'm going to go to bearing, and it's set to a 0.4. So I'm going to change that down to 0.1. Remember the text height, so it's bearing 0.1, and I've changed the offset. So I'm just changing. You shouldn't have to change this, but I'm changing it because I played with it earlier. And then I want to change the component. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to highlight the formula to the nearest 1 second, which is good. Add it back in, and I had fixed this earlier. And then I'm going to go to the distance, set it to 0.1. And I'm going to look, and it looks like it might be, let me highlight it. And the precision is to 2. If it didn't put a foot mark, add it in, and then right outside of it, add the little foot mark right outside the less than or equal to sign. Apply. Okay. So what it did is it made them smaller, and that looks a lot better. All right, what about labeling this? So that's all I have. So if I go over here and I try to label a house, that's what I'm getting. And all I want is a distance. So we're going to go to copy current selection. And I'm going to call it distance. Now we are definitely reinventing the wheel, meaning you're going to learn how to go in and change settings, and that's why what I'm really hoping for is so that you would know how to do this on your own, because it took me probably 3 or 4 weeks, and I was making so many mistakes to then go into. I wrote a lot of notes down, and we had somebody come in and tell us or tell me what I was doing wrong, and then once I picked up, I wrote it down. So I have distance. Now, right now it's got a bearing and distance. I'm going to go in and see if I can change the bearing. I'm going to turn it off. So it's right now visibility's true. I'm going to say false. And then I'm going to go to the distance, and I'm going to change that to that 0.06. So that should be all I need to do, and hit OK. And then I am going to erase these, and I'm going to relabel them, because right now I labeled them on standard. So I'm going to go to add. And now I've got 2 dimensions. So I've got a distance one that's only, and then I have a standard. So you could do as many as you want. So I'm just going to show you like how mine comes up. My drawing too, if I would go to add labels, all of these are predetermined for me. So I had all these options, even though they were going to be coming in they would be coming in. I'm just going to kind of show you. This is I'm in a different drawing now. If I hit add, I would still have to edit them because they come in standard. But typically, once I have drawings set up and I've edited them, then everything works good for me. So if I would pull up one of my drawings that I work in, once I've saved it, then I can use that as a template, and everything is set up, perfect for me. So hope that's kind of a workaround for if you didn't get all the dimensions right, like it only gave you standard only and didn't give you any symbols. This will help. And then if there's anything else that you need from me, just let me know, and we'll have this one as a workaround. So that's just kind of a quick tutorial to give some of the help to the ones from home, to change some specific properties in CAD. So I'm hoping that'll make it a little easier for you. And if you got any questions, send me an email and I'll try to make a YouTube on how to do something for you as well. Alright guys, see you next week.